Today, we're going to talk about a piece of music that is it's so powerful. It's a piano trio, written way back in 1846, but honestly, it sounds like it could have been written decades later. It is a work of absolute genius by a composer whose name you might recognize, but whose music is only now getting the attention it has always deserved. So let's dive in, find out who she was, and what makes this piece just so extraordinary. So let's talk about Clara Schumann. In her day, she was one of the most famous concert pianists in all of Europe. I mean, a genuine superstar. But here's the thing, she was also a brilliant composer. And one of her most personal, most powerful works, her piano trio in G minor, was pretty much forgotten for more than 100 years. How does that even happen? And what makes this piece so special that we're talking about it today? To really get this music, we have to understand the world it came from. Clara Schumann wasn't just putting notes on a page. She was fighting to create art in the face of some really incredible personal and professional challenges. And just try to imagine the sheer weight on her shoulders. Okay, so she's celebrated on stage, a total rock star, but she's living in a time where people just didn't think women should be composers. On top of that, she was the one earning most of the money for the family. She raised 8 children, ran the entire household, and cared for her husband, the famous composer Robert Schumann, as he battled severe mental illness. The fact that she composed anything at all it's incredible. The fact that she composed a masterpiece, well, that's just astounding. So, with all that going on, what kind of musical language did she reach for? Well, she turned to this really trusted, powerful framework from the classical era, but then she just filled it with all the fire and passion of the Romantic period. First off, this piece is a piano trio. So we're not talking about a giant orchestra here. This is chamber music. And you can really think of it as this intense, intimate conversation between 3 friends: the piano, the violin, and the cello. This was a huge deal in the 19th century, one of the most respected ways to write music. And the blueprint she uses for that conversation? It's called sonata form. Now, don't let the name scare you off. It's not some stuffy, rigid set of rules. Think of it more like a brilliant storytelling structure that composers like Mozart and Beethoven had already perfected. It's a tried and true way to take a listener on a really dramatic and emotional ride. The absolute easiest way to think about sonata form is like a story in 3 acts. Act 1, the exposition. This is where you meet your main characters, which in music are the main themes. Act 2, the development. This is where things get crazy. Those themes go on a wild journey, they face conflict, there's turmoil. And then Act 3, the recapitulation. The themes come back home, but they're not the same. They've been transformed by everything they went through. Okay, so we've got the blueprint. Now let's see how Clara Schumann actually uses it in her trio. She builds this really profound emotional story right there in the very first movement. So, who are the main characters in her story? Well, right in that first movement, she introduces 2 totally contrasting musical themes, or subjects, and they form the real heart of the drama. The first character shows up right at the beginning. It's this gorgeous, aching melody in a minor key. It has this sighing quality to it, a real sense of sadness and longing. But then the second character arrives, and it's completely different. It's in a brighter, major key, it's restless, it's energetic. It feels like a ray of hope just pushing against all that sadness. And right there, with those 2 themes, she sets up the central conflict. It's melancholy versus hope. And this chart just lays out that whole journey perfectly. In the exposition, we meet our 2 characters, the sad G minor theme and the hopeful B-flat major theme. Then, in the development, well, all hell breaks loose, musically speaking. The music travels through all these different keys, the themes get broken apart, they clash, they're thrown into total turmoil, but then comes the recapitulation. They return. The sad theme comes back in G minor, but this time that hopeful theme doesn't just come back. It comes back and triumphs in the home key, transformed into a brilliant G major. Hope wins. It's so good. But it's not just the amazing story she tells, it's how she tells it. Schumann did something pretty revolutionary for her time in the way these 3 instruments talk to each other. Yeah, as one source puts it, in chamber music, ideas get passed around as if in conversation. And let me tell you, Clara Schumann took that idea to a whole other level. See, in a lot of piano trios from this period, the piano is the star, it dominates everything, and the violin and cello are kind of just backup. But not here. No way. Schumann treats all 3 instruments as true, equal partners in this conversation. Each instrument has its own crucial part to play. The violin gets these beautiful, soaring melodies. The cello isn't just stuck in the basement playing bass notes. It gives that deep support, sure, but it also rises up and sings with its own powerful voice. And the piano? The piano is the master negotiator. Sometimes it's laying down this rich, textured background, and other times it steps right up and leads the discussion. It's a perfect democracy of sound. This creates this incredibly rich texture that music nerds call polyphonically animated homophony. It's a mouthful, I know, but all it really means is that there's way more going on than just a melody with some chords underneath. You've got the main tune, for sure, but you also have all these other independent little melodies weaving in and out, creating this dense, beautiful conversational fabric of sound. So when you put it all together, the structure, the emotion, this amazing conversation, what you get is a piece that perfectly bridges two of the most important eras in music history. I mean, this piece is just a masterclass. Its bones, its skeleton are pure classical. You've got that clear, elegant structure of sonata form as the foundation. But its soul, its heart, is 100% romantic. It's just overflowing with deep personal feeling. And she uses these rich, complex, and sometimes jarring chords like diminished sevenths to just crank up the emotional drama and tension. And don't forget, she was doing all of this back in 1846. She's using these traditional forms, but filling them with a kind of emotional and harmonic complexity that was really ahead of its time. It's a testament to her unique and powerful voice as a composer. So what's the big takeaway here? What makes Clara Schumann's piano trio a masterpiece? It's not just one thing. It's her complete command of the classical tradition, combined with this deep well of romantic passion. It's her innovative, democratic way of writing for the instruments. And, maybe most importantly, it's a powerful artistic statement from a woman who defied every expectation of her time to create something truly, truly timeless. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a work this brilliant could be ignored for so long, maybe just because of who the composer was, how many other masterpieces by forgotten creators are still out there, just waiting for us to finally listen?